Get your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.
One of the most important lists in QuickBooks is the chart of accounts. You can access this list by selecting Lists from the menu bar and then choosing the Chart of Accounts command. The chart of accounts lists all of the accounts available to use in your company file. These accounts track all incoming and outgoing money and tell you how much you currently own and owe. When you set up your business in QuickBooks using the Easy Step interview, you get a default list of accounts. Once that has been done, you will probably need to make some changes. You can add, edit, inactivate, delete, and rename accounts within this list. Generally, you can perform any of these tasks by first selecting the account within the chart of accounts that you would like to change if needed. Then click the Account button in the Chart of Accounts window. From the pop-up menu that appears, you can then select the desired command to perform. Conveniently, in any list that is accessible from the Lists command within the menu bar, you can always rely on being able to click the button in the lower left corner of the list window that appears to be able to perform the basic list management tasks. The button is always named the same thing as the list within which it appears. So for example, the Account button is the one that you click to perform list management in the Chart of Accounts window. The Item button is the one that you click when using the Items list, and so on. To illustrate, assume that you wanted to add a new savings account into your Chart of Accounts. So first you would select Lists from the menu bar, and then choose the Chart of Accounts command, or press Ctrl-A on your keyboard in order to open the list. Next, click the Account button in the lower left corner of the Chart of Accounts window, and choose the New command from the pop-up menu that appears. This opens the Add New Account, Choose Account Type window, where you will begin entering the new account information. You must first select the account type from the account options shown in this window. Technically, a savings account is an asset. However, in QuickBooks, when working with asset accounts that have a cash basis, like checking, savings, petty cash, and others, you'll want to assign the account as a bank account type to note its cash nature and to be able to use it in your transaction windows. Now, after you've selected the desired account type from the choices shown, then click the Continue button to move to the next screen. You will see the Add New Account window. This is the traditional view of the New Account window. And note that when you selected the account type on the previous screen and then clicked the Continue button, all it really did was select an account type from the Account Type drop-down shown at the top of this window. Next, you would need to enter a name for the account into the Account Name text box. For now, let's skip the Sub-Account Of checkbox and drop-down, as we will discuss creating sub-accounts separately, and we shall assume that the account that we are creating is not a sub-account of any other main account. The account description is an optional text box, as is the bank account number. When you are finished, simply click the Save and Close button to create the new account and then close the new account window. You may continue creating new accounts without having to close and reopen the new account window by just clicking the Save and New button to create the account and clear the new account window. Then enter the next account that you want to create. Note that this time you will need to select the account type from the Account Type drop-down to start creating the new account. Also note that you could click the Cancel button if you want to close the new account window and not create an account. Now, if you need to create an account that had a balance as of the start date of the company file, you can enter the opening balance of the account as of the start date by clicking the Enter Opening Balance button. This will open the Enter Opening Balance window where you can enter the amount as of the start date of your company file into the Statement Ending Balance text box. Then you select the statement date, which must be before or on the actual start date of the company file, from the Statement Ending Date calendar selector. Then you can either click OK to save the account's opening balance or Cancel to cancel and not enter the opening balance. Also note that for accounts that are created after the start date, you simply create the account and then enter the transactions that show where the new account received its funds from. So in most cases, you do not need to actually use the opening balance. You can also create sub-accounts of accounts within the chart of accounts. This allows you to attribute transaction amounts to specific sub-accounts of a main account for reporting purposes. So for example, if you had an automobile expense account, you could create sub-accounts of gas and maintenance repairs to easily show the different amounts spent on gas versus repairs and maintenance for company vehicles, along with the total amount spent on automobile expenses within a report. The balance of any account that also has sub-accounts is the total of all of the transactions attributed to that account, including all balances within its sub-accounts. You create a sub-account in the exact same way in which you would create any other type of account within the chart of accounts. Just ensure that you have the primary account for which you want to have a sub-account created first. The only difference when creating a sub-account versus a primary account is that you have to check the sub-account of box and then choose the primary account. Now note that sub-accounts must be of the exact same account type as their parent accounts. Now if you wish to edit the information associated with an account in the future, you can also do that as well. In this case, you first need to select the account that you want to edit within the chart of accounts. Next, click the Account button in the lower left corner of the list, and then choose the Edit Account command from the pop-up menu that appears. You can then make your editing changes as needed, and then click the Save and Close button. If you like to right-click, notice that you can also just right-click on an account that you want to edit, and then select the Edit Account command. Now you may have accounts that you never use listed within your chart of accounts. If you have an account that you would like to delete within the chart of accounts, you may do so only if there are no transactions associated with the account. Once there are transactions assigned to an account, you can no longer delete it, as that would compromise your company's financial information. So in that case, you would first need to remove the transactions from the account, either by reassigning each transaction in the account to another account, or by deleting the transactions entirely if they're incorrect. This may not be feasible for your situation. Now, after there are no transactions in the account, then you can go ahead and delete it. Now, to delete an empty account that's shown in the chart of accounts, you would first need to select the account. Then click the Account button in the lower left corner, and then choose the Delete Account command from the pop-up menu that appears. Now, after selecting the Delete command, you will need to click OK in the message box that appears in order to permanently delete the account. Now, if you have an account that you used at one time in the past, but no longer actively use, you can inactivate it to hide it within the list rather than deleting it and compromising your company's financial information. When an account is inactivated, it will not appear by default within your chart of accounts. However, the information is retained for reporting in QuickBooks. You can actually make items in almost all of your lists inactive to hide items that you no longer use. In the chart of accounts, you can inactivate an account by simply selecting the name of the account, clicking the Account button in the lower left corner of the list window, and then selecting the Make Account Inactive command from the pop-up menu. This will also be covered in depth in Lesson 3.12.
Like what you see? Pick up your free copy of the complete tutorial at www.teachucomp.com/free.